Welcome to historic Harvard Stadium for one of the oldest rivalries in college football, the game, Harvard versus Yale. It's the 131st football meeting between the schools and their fan bases, but only the 8th time this annual showdown carries Ivy League title implications for both teams. At 9-0, Harvard is one of only 4 unbeaten teams in Division I, and last week clinched at least a share of the Ivy title with a come-from-behind win over Penn. Yale 8-1 overall, 5-1 in conference play, along with Dartmouth, who plays today against Princeton. Thus, there's a possibility for 3 Ivy League co-champions. Moments ago, Harvard head coach Tim Murphy spoke to his team in the locker room.
9 down, 1 to go. Yes, sir. Believe in yourself, believe in your teammates. We got to out-emotion them, but at the same time, we got to play smart, play discipline, but after your round. Let's go.
Over the century plus of competition between the teams, Yale leads overall, but Tim Murphy in his 21st year here at Harvard has presided over some recent dominance. Look at that. Harvard's won 12 of the last 13 meetings, including 7 in a row. It is a brisk fall afternoon here in Cambridge, Mass. ESPN's College Game Day has been here all week. What an atmosphere. Randy Moss joined by Ross Tucker and Carolyn Mano for a game we've been looking forward to for a long time.
Well, we look forward to it every year, but this year, with both teams having a chance to win the Ivy title, makes it especially fun. That hasn't happened since 2017.
There you see it is 39 degrees, the wind, brisk, especially up here on the roof, 16 miles an hour. So we're ready to bring you the action. Boeing and Raymond James presenting the Ivy League Game of the Week. Harvard has won the toss but has deferred. So Yale will receive the opening kickoff. Yale, of course, the #1 offense, total offense, 587 yards a game in the FCS. Harvard, the #1 scoring defense in the FCS, giving up just 11 points a game. What a matchup.
The irresistible force meets the immovable object. Best against best.
Andrew Flesher has teed it up for Harvard. He'll be kicking to Candler Rich and Dion Randall, who are deep. You can hear the fans fired up for the game. Edition number 131 is underway. And the kick will hit inside the 10-yard line, picked up by Rich. He gets it out up over the 15. And now that offensive juggernaut that is the Yale Bulldog team will take the field with Morgan Roberts at quarterback, the Clemson transfer, leading the Ivy League in almost every passing category. Threw for a career-high 405 yards last week against Princeton. But it's not just Morgan Roberts.
No, I mean, the entire offense has just been outstanding. You said it. They lead the Ivy League in virtually every category. One reason is the offensive line stayed healthy, the same 5 starters all season. But Roberts from Clemson has been a difference maker.
Behind Roberts is Tyler Varga, number 30, who leads the Ivy League with 144 rushing yards per game, specializing in breaking tackles. And here is Varga up the middle, still fighting for yardage, up just shy of the 25-yard line, where Connor Sheehan, the linebacker from Harvard, makes the first stop of the game. Varga, man, he has just been incredible this season. 100-yard game after another. The 2 receivers, of course, outstanding. Grant Wallace and Dion Randall. They can attack you in so many ways, these Bulldogs. And this time Roberts will go to the air, and that is Grant Wallace. And he gets first down yardage.
Those first 2 plays for Yale, very indicative of really what they've done all year. They will go to the hurry-up offense like you see a lot in college football these days, but you have Varga on an inside zone run, then the next play come back, pretty easy short pass, nothing fancy, just very efficient.
You got to look at that Yale offensive line. It's been intact for 2 consecutive seasons as Varga pounds off right tackle for short yardage on first down. Now the starting lineup's brought to you by Discover Card. There's the offensive line for Yale that has been continuity, definitely over the last couple of years. Varga, and again, Grant Wallace and Dion Randall are two of the leading receivers in the Ivy League. Robert Clemens is also a deep threat. He had a 68-yard touchdown catch earlier this season. So we have an injured player on the field for Harvard. That's number 6, Sean Ahern, the starting cornerback, who now gets back up to his feet. So a brief timeout on the field.
That would be a blow for Harvard. You know, talking with the coaches this week, that was the big question mark coming into the season. They only returned 1 out of 6 guys in the rotation in the secondary from a year ago. But their corners, Chris Evans as well as Ahern, have played at an all-Ivy caliber level. Coaches said even in the spring, they didn't really expect that, having watched these guys.
So 2nd and 9 now for Yale. Just a 1-yard pickup by Varga on that last play. Play action from Roberts under pressure. Doesn't quite get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a sack. Zach Hodges, 99. The all-time leader at Harvard in career sacks and the defending 2-time Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year.
That'll be number 26 for Zach Hodges. Really, it was Obum Obukwelu, number 91, that got the initial pressure. When Robert stepped up, Hodges was able to bring him down. Great sign for Harvard to get pressure with only a 3-man rush.
Loss of 2, back to the 29. 3rd and 11. Roberts again under pressure. Still looking though. Fires it downfield into traffic. 3 Crimson defenders there, but it falls incomplete. Perhaps an ill-advised pass, but it's going to be a punt for Yale on their opening possession.
I don't know about perhaps. That was an ill-advised pass, Randy. Let's take a look at it. Harvard dropped back into a zone, and Morgan Roberts just threw it up for grabs. 3 Harvard Crimson there. Very fortunate that that was not picked off.
23 Chris Evans with a possibility there for an interception. So in its opening possession, Yale is going to have to punt it away. Brian Holmes, 43 is the punt.
Harvard did block 3 kicks last week, something to keep in mind.
Andrew Fisher is deep, and it's a short punt out of bounds. Just over the 40-yard line of Harvard, where the Crimson will begin for the first time. And the quarterback for Harvard will be number 14, Connor Hempel, the senior, who has started only 3 games this season due to back and shoulder injuries. Those 3 games were wins against Holy Cross, Princeton, and Dartmouth. And in those parts of 3 games, Hempel has been in the lineup. They have outscored the opposition 99-6. Hempel also the all-time leader at Harvard in completion percentage, and Paul Stanton Jr. in the backfield behind Hempel is the Ivy League's 2nd leading rusher behind Varga. Play action on 1st down. Hempel will throw to a wide open receiver, and it's Fisher, who could not bring it in. Wow, incomplete. Let's go down now to Carolyn Mano.
Well, Randy, so far so good for Connor Hempel out here. His dad told us earlier today he feels 100% despite those shoulder injuries that he caused to miss the last 2 games, and also a back injury that caused him to miss games earlier in the season. He didn't take reps, Randy, until Wednesday, even late Thursday this week, but still seems to be okay for today's game.
So on 2nd and 10, it'll be Stanton up the middle, fighting to get over the 45-yard line. Stanton last week put up 235 yards and 3 touchdowns against Penn. Matthew Opplinger on the tackle.
Huge break for Yale early in this game that Andrew Fisher was not able to hold on to that first throw from Hempel. That should have been a touchdown.
Instead, now it is 3rd and 7. Hempel has led the Crimson on touchdowns in 12 of his 23 possessions this year. He's also a threat out of the backfield, and he'll get the 1st down. Close to the 45-yard line of Yale.
This is what he does exceptionally well. A lot better than Scott Hoosh, who's done a great job as the backup quarterback, but this is what makes Hempel different, is his ability to improvise and make plays with his feet.
It's a first down at the 45 of Yale. Play action to Stan Hempel to the side again, intended for Fisher, who might have slipped there, overthrown. Incomplete as we now take a look at the starting lineups of Harvard, brought to you by Discover Card. You've had a look at Stanton. We have talked, of course, about Scott Hempel. Andrew Fisher, who couldn't hang on to that earlier pass, is the #1 receiver for Harvard this year with 47 catches. Mike Mancinelli starting at left guard in place of William Nichols today. 2nd and 10. And here is Stanton, known for his acceleration, first down yardage inside the 35-yard line of Yale.
Running behind the right side of that offensive line, coming right in your living room. They pull the center. Nick Easton, 57, gets a great block on Darius Minora. Stanton tucks it up inside. He had 4 touchdowns in this game last year and 235 yards rushing versus Penn last week.
12-yard pickup to the 33. Hempel from the shotgun to the air. He has protection. Still looking, hit hard. Drop, ball loose. Recovered by Harvard as the Crimson dodge a bullet. Hempel a little slow to get up. Remember, back and shoulder injuries this season for Connor Hempel.
I think sometimes, Randy, he almost likes the contact. You know, he is a physical kid, 215 pounds, but I remember saying a year ago, doing a couple Harvard games, that he took a bunch of shots. That's something he's going to have to avoid. One of the reasons why he suffered those 2 injuries this year.
The left guard Mancinelli fell on that one back at the 44. It'll now be 2nd and 21, loss of 11. Here's Stanton, big hole. Back close to the original line of scrimmage. Opplinger, Matthew Opplinger has had several stops already. He was in on the tackle. This was the most recent injury for Connor Hempel against Dartmouth, November the 1st. An injury to his throwing shoulder, his right shoulder. This came after his back injury earlier in the season.
And you just feel bad for a kid like that. I mean, a senior only getting a chance to play really parts of 3 games this year until today.
3rd and 11. Hempel to Fisher. Short of the first down at the 29.
I really like that throw and that decision because it brings up a 4th down decision for Tim Murphy, and they're going to go for it. You know, split the difference on 3rd down. Don't feel like you need to get all the yardage if you know in advance that it's 4 down territory. With the wind today, you know, 46, 47-yard field goal, you like your chances of going for it better.
So it'll be 4th and 6. Incomplete. Saitu Smith turned to the inside. Hempel threw to the outside. So Harvard does not convert on 4th down. Both teams failing on their opening possessions.
Let's go. Welcome to the game, baby. What's up?
9 minutes and 16 seconds remaining in the first quarter. There's a look at Harvard head coach Tim Murphy. Watching Connor Hempel go incomplete on 4th and 6. Welcome back to Harvard Stadium here in Cambridge, Mass. Just off the Harvard campus. Harvard Stadium, one of 4 college football venues actually recognized as historic national landmarks, along with the Yale Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the Los Angeles Coliseum. Quite a venue for quite a slice of college football Americana, I guess you can say.
The first solid concrete stadium. It's really an amazing story. The sport had gotten so brutal, Randy, that they were talking about ways in which they could make it a little safer for the players. They thought about widening the field or allowing the forward pass. And Harvard said, hey, we already built our stadium. That's concrete. Not making the field any wider. Thus, we had the forward pass.
And also quite a story this season has been this Yale offense. They managed 1 first down in their opening possession. Morgan Roberts, Tyler Varga, and company back in business now at the 29. And Varga just a yard to the 30. Zach Hodges in on the stop. Now a look brought to you by Discover Card at the Harvard Crimson defense. And, of course, a lot of talented players on there. You know, linebackers, Eric Meads, etc. But it's Zach Hodges, 99. That's the real straw that stirs the drink for this D.
He and number 7, Norman Hayes, the captain. We've been talking about those guys here on NBCSN for years.
2nd and 9. Whistles blow this one to a stop. Flag on the play.
Offense. 5 yards from the original line of scrimmage. 2nd down.
So that'll make it 2nd and 14 now for Yale. Yale's lost 1 game this season. That was back on October the 11th, a 38-31 loss against Dartmouth, in which Roberts threw 3 interceptions. They also gave up a 60-yard punt return to the Big Green. Other than that, nothing but wins for Yale, and of course Harvard undefeated. Here's Roberts. That pass is complete out to Varga for short yardage.
Really nice open field tackle by Jake Lindsey, number 51 for Harvard. You'll see one of the things Robert does really well is getting the ball to his hands quickly. He's accurate. Jake Lindsey, though, breaks down, brings down Varga in the open field. The coaches told us they've got an outstanding linebacking core. Lindsey, number 51, the most talented of the bunch, turned down a full scholarship from the University of Cincinnati.
Back to the original line of scrimmage, 3rd and 10. Roberts on the move, just across the 30. Knocked out of bounds. So far, the Harvard defense has gotten the best of this Yale offense.
There he is again, Jake Lindsey. I was just talking to him before the game and talking to him. He said he was very, very excited for this opportunity to play on this stage, and it looks like it. Back-to-back open field tackles.
So for the 2nd time, Brian Holmes will again be punting. The rush is out, and it's blocked. Another block caught by Harvard. Brian Holmes, the punter, falls on the ball at the 7-yard line. Harvard, which blocked or partially blocked 3 punts last week against Penn, has done it again.
And give a lot of credit to their special teams coach, Ryan Crawford. You'll see them coming right off the right side of that blocking formation, almost untouched. And it was number 17, Ryan Jones, that got it. Just not able to pick it up and scoop and score for the touchdown. Gives the Yale defense here a chance to save 4 points.
Ryan Jones, a senior quarterback from San Antonio, also blocked a punt against Columbia earlier this season. Special teams has been another ace for Harvard. 1st down from the 7. Stanton brought down after just a yard. Tackled by Dale Harris, the cornerback.
Boy, that's a nice tackle by Harris right there. I mean, a lot of times when you're on offense, you want to get your running back one-on-one on the corner. You like that matchup. Harris is really known as a cover corner. To come up there and make that stick, that's impressive.
Anthony Ferksker and Saitu Smith go wide left. Andrew Fisher wide right. 2nd and goal. Stanton again. And again bottled up, this time for a loss of yards.
Yale is very, very young on defense. That's Earl Chisholm, the true freshman, making the play. You see at the top of your screen, he fights off the block from Tyler Hamblin and swallows up Stanton. How about a true freshman playing in front of 30,000 making a play there? Gives Yale a much better opportunity to keep Harvard out of the end zone after that punt block.
A loss of 4. 3rd and goal from the 10. Hempel looking right toward Fisher, pulls it down. And he'll be thrown out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Victor Igu was there to run Hempel out of bounds, so it'll be a field goal try now for the Crimson.
Hempel looked to the right. He had 2 receivers over there, but nobody was open. He thought maybe that meant he could tuck it away and run to the left, but there was nothing there. What a defensive stand by a young Yale defense that has struggled at times this year.
Andrew Flesher on to attempt a 25-yard field goal, 13 of 18 this season. That one is good. And Harvard is on the board first in the game, but a big stop by Yale after that blocked punt and holding the Crimson to just 3 points. Opportunity after that blocked punt does come away with a field goal to take the lead 3-0. The Crimson have won 13 straight games. They have the longest active win streak in the FCS, and they've won 21 of their last 22 here at Harvard Stadium. And Andrew Flesher, who just made that field goal, will be kicking off to Candler Rich, and Dion Randall again is on a windy day here in Cambridge. The ball blows off the tee. The wind is actually blowing from your left to right, so Flesher had the wind at his back on that field goal try. There you see the flags.
It really swirls, though, because of the nature of this stadium, it being a horseshoe like it is, it really swirls depending on which field goal post you look at, and even talking to some of the players and coaches in the field before the game.
This one will be taken by Dion Randall, but there was whistles, so this one won't count. We'll kick it again. We wait for the explanation here from our referee, Tony Marcella.
It's only 3-0. Yeah, exactly. It's only 3-0, Randy, but it's already been very eventful. When you think about Morgan Roberts almost throwing that interception, Andrew Fisher dropping what likely would have been a touchdown, the Connor Hempel fumble, the block punt that Harvard does not convert into a touchdown with Yale holding. 5 big situations, 5 big plays already.
And again, it'll be Randall, this time from the 2. Dion Randall, a breakaway threat. Breaks the tackle, gets up to about the 28-yard line. Yale, one of the highest scoring teams in the FCS. #1 in total offense so far, held scoreless. Ross, I don't think they ever actually wore helmets like that, did they, even back in the day?
Well, if they did, they were leather. I don't think they were all nice like that.
On first down, Roberts to Grant Wallace. Up over the 40-yard line. That's a combination that has clicked repeatedly in recent weeks. The last 4 games, Wallace has averaged 10 catches for 145 yards a game.
Just an out pattern. Wallace working against Sean Ahern, who's back in the game.
That was a gain of 14. Tyler Varga on first down, breaking tackles up near midfield for a gain of about 8. And now this Yale offense begins to show signs of life.
This is when these up-tempo offenses can really get going, when they start to stack first downs on top of each other.
2nd and 2. Play action, back to Wallace, first down to the 40-yard line. Gain of 10.
You almost wonder if the defensive stand by that young Yale D gave this offense a boost, because they're starting to get in a rhythm here.
Already 3 catches for 30 yards for Wallace, who is number 3 in the FCS with 112 receiving yards a game. Play action, it'll be a keeper by Roberts. Out of bounds for no gain.
That is a really nice job by Harvard, including linebacker Dominique Packer, number 40. Yale changing it up a little bit. They don't run a lot of read options, not a lot of designed runs for Morgan Roberts. He's more of a passer. He is capable of running the football, but I think they tried to change it up on Harvard there. Harvard had nothing of it.
Roberts has taken a couple of hits already. As we're inside the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. 2nd and 10. Roberts complete. That one to Mike Siragusa, the freshman from Cleveland. The 6th catch of the year.
This is what we saw from Morgan Roberts about a month ago when they played Penn. Every single throw on the money, pinpoint accuracy. He's getting into a rhythm. 3rd down here, but this is 4-down territory. Keep that in mind.
Just 2 yards to go. Probably Tyler Varga time. Varga, look at that. Up close to the first down. I think they're going to give him forward progress up over the 30. It'll be a first down for Yale to the 29.
Both members of this Yale backfield are transfers. Robert from Clemson. Varga went to school in Canada for a year, where he's from, where he played scholastic football, and then came down to Yale as a sophomore. Head coach Tim Murphy for Harvard said they might be the 2 offensive players of the year in the league.
Varga comes from Western Ontario. First down from the 29. Going deep. And it is incomplete, intended for Wallace. No flags. Sean Ahern back in the game now after being shaken up earlier on primary coverage.
Most of the time when you watch football, they're going to throw pass interference on that. Because Ahern, there's a lot of contact there, and Ahern never looks back for the football, which is okay. You don't have to look back for the football in college football, but there's a lot of contact there.
You might have heard the Yale fans here. They are in presence here at Harvard Stadium. They didn't like the call, or the no call. 2nd and 10. Varga up over the 25 to the 24. Let's get down now to Carolyn Mano.
Hey, Randy, Tony Reno very disappointed with that last call. I'm over here next to him on the sideline, and he's telling the referees over and over again, hey, you need to give him a chance to catch the ball. So clearly not happy on the Yale sidelines.
If anything, Randy, I thought Wallace could have maybe done a better job coming back towards the ball to draw the pass interference penalty.
Probably 4-down territory here, but it's 3rd and 5 for Yale. Roberts trying to find somebody open. Good job by Harvard in coverage. Finally over the middle. Incomplete. Incomplete. That was intended for Robert Clemens, number 83. Couldn't hang on.
Clemens tried to get his hands underneath it, and he did. It just, the ball squirted out.
A catchable ball. We told you it was 4-down territory. Check this out now. Logan Scott, the backup quarterback, is the holder for Kyle Cazzetta. They're going to try a field goal against the wind from 41 yards. And a timeout now, I think it's going to be called. Timeout, Harvard.
I think Harvard, oh yeah, Harvard called timeout. They had 12 guys on the field. I saw a couple officials throw flags. I thought maybe Harvard got the timeout in before they got penalized, but that is a huge mistake by Harvard. And I'm sure with them having 12 guys on the field that there's an Ivy League counting joke in there somewhere.
And this is going to perhaps change the dynamic here. Well, it definitely will, because it's a first down. I thought it might have been 4th and very short, but it is a first down because of that penalty. A huge mistake by the Crimson. So on first down, Varga pounding up the middle inside the 10. Norman Hayes finally brought him down, a fearsome hitter himself. But another bruising run by Varga.
Well, that's what he's about. He's about power. He's got enough speed, but he is a physical phenom. He's just more talented than most of the people that are trying to tackle him.
35 yards for Varga already. That one just a yard, less than a yard shy of the first down. 2nd down. You see there. First down at the 9. Roberts is going to throw, complete. Out to Deion Randall, stopped immediately.
Man, that is a terrific play.
Norman Hayes.
That is an amazing play. Norman Hayes, like a heat-seeking missile, will come out of nowhere, face-up tackle, perfect technique, drive through Deion Randall. Those are the 2 captains right there. They became friends this offseason, doing a couple of events together. They didn't look very friendly there.
The first ever matchup in the game between 2 African-American team captains. How about that?
Awesome.
A loss of yards, but Tyler Varga makes up for that and gets a first down to the 6.
If I'm Yale, I'm running it until Harvard shows they can stop it, because they're getting a little something going here. Vargas sees the seam, lowers his head, always gets that extra yard and a half. Ride your horse.
Varga, in 16 of his 23 games at Yale, has gone over 100 yards rushing. First and goal from the 6 after Harvard stopped Yale on a couple of possessions. Yale right now moving the ball effectively. Look at Varga, fight to the end zone. Contact almost never brings him down. Often second contact doesn't either.
No, you can see it here. He does a nice job with a little jump cut there. And then if you don't wrap him up, and you can see Connor Sheehan just ducked a shoulder in there. And mistakes have been the story of the game so far now. You got the blocked kick from Yale and too many men on the field for Harvard. The difference is Yale cashed in for a touchdown when Harvard could not.
Left-footed Kyle Cazzetta, perfect so far in points after snap. A little dicey, but the kick through the uprights. So Yale now showing a glimpse of that offense that has been so effective this season. Getting on the board for the first time in the game. A 6-yard run from the leading rusher in the Ivy League, Tyler Varga. Plays 72 yards for Yale for their first score of the game. 4 minutes, 58 seconds. Tyler Varga accounting for 35 of those yards. There you see a member of the Menorah family in the crowd. You said it, Ross. Mistakes. Harvard could not capitalize with a touchdown after its blocked punt. Got only a field goal after the 12 men on the field penalty. Yale did turn that into 6 points, 7 points. Brian Holmes kicking off short. That one will be fielded by one of the up men there by Harvard. And that was taken by number 50, Connor Sheehan, the linebacker. Harvard will start from there. Meanwhile, don't forget Barclays Premier League. Back in action tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time on NBCSN, where the matchup will be Hull City versus Tottenham Hotspur. Who do you like there?
I'm going with Tottenham Hotspur.
From the 27, after the short kickoff, Harvard and Connor Hempel. Paul Stanton Jr. Nice tackle. That one made by number 23, Foye Oluokun.
Don't look now, but Yale is starting to play with a lot of confidence. They are the underdogs in this game. Actually, surprising to see double-digit underdogs, but they're playing with a lot of confidence. That's what you want when you're the underdog in a game like this.
Gain of 3 for Stanton. 2nd and 7. Stanton out of the backfield. Again, well played by Yale. Stop made by Jack Russian, number 89, the team's sack leader this season. A lot of youngsters on this Yale defense. Russian, just a sophomore. Oluokun, a sophomore. Chisholm, the freshman. As we reach the end of the first quarter of play at Harvard Stadium. The game, edition number 131. Yale has scored the first touchdown of the game after that long drive, punctuated by the Tyler Varga 6-yard run. 7-3 heading into the second period. Welcome back to Harvard Stadium. The Yale Bulldog diving at our cameraman a couple of times there. He's fired up as well as the Yale team right now as we begin the second quarter on a 3rd and 11. And Stanton, again, short yardage, doesn't even get back to the 30-yard line. Chisholm, the freshman, was in hot pursuit from the very beginning of that play.
It's a curious play call and perhaps shed some light on what Harvard thinks of their passing game right now. You know, 3rd and long like that. to just hand the ball off. It's not like Harvard to just concede a first down.
And that injury to Hempel was to his right throwing shoulder, the injury against Dartmouth. So David Bicknell punting it away. Again, a short punt. It'll be down at the 46-yard line of Yale. Only a 25-yard punt against the wind by Bicknell. So one of the big storylines heading into this game was how well this strong Harvard defense would be able to contain the high-scoring Yale offense. And on that last drive, Yale really began to get things clicking.
Be interesting to see if they can pick up where they left off. I mean, Harvard's only given up 11 points per game. That's #1 in all of FCS football.
And great starting field position here for Yale. Play action to Varga. Morgan Roberts still looking downfield, intended, but incomplete. Intended for Robert Clemens. Way down at the 10-yard line. Good coverage, though, by Harvard.
Yeah, that's Chris Evans, number 23. He's actually from Princeton, New Jersey. Did a nice job there getting that right hand up, timed that perfectly. He was an option quarterback in high school. Not that heavily recruited. Harvard found him at the end of the recruiting cycle. He's a keeper.
Back now to Wallace. Just over the 50-yard line. Gain of about 5. Sean Ahern back on the stop.
The beauty of this Yale offense is really in the simplicity. A nice tackle in the open field by Ahern, but that's a pretty easy 5 yards there. So much of what they do is just, they only have about 2 running plays, maybe 3 to Tyler Varga that they run over and over again. It's really what impressed the Harvard coaching staff the most when we spoke to them.
Simple but effective. 3rd and 5. Roberts across the middle, complete to Dion Randall. Nice stop again by Norman Hayes. I think he's going to stop Randall just shy of the first down. Let's wait on the spot. He had to get to the 44 for the first down, and it looks like it's going to be about half a yard shy.
They're going to say 4th down. Watch this open field tackle by Norman Hayes again. Dion Randall has about as much wiggle as anybody in the Ivy League. And not only did he not get away from Norman Hayes, he got knocked back. This should be Varga time.
4th and less than a yard. If there's any back that excels in situations like this, it's Varga, but timeout is called on the field. Timeout taken by Yale as Tony Reno and company didn't like one of the looks they were getting there from the Harvard defense.
I think Yale head coach Tony Reno called that timeout right before this critical 4th down play because he didn't like what he saw in the backfield. When there's that much of a conversation, I wouldn't feel real good about it either.
He and Varga, Roberts and Varga, not on the same page. Now back to live action. 4th and inches.
The end result should still be the same, which is a handoff to number 30.
Harvard expecting it. Still, it's a first down.
He lost his footing in the backfield. Almost fortunate to get that first down.
Pickup of 2 to the 43. The drive continues for Yale. Let's get another look at it. He was tripped up, but not before he was able to get that first down. Here is Varga again, looking for a seam. Breaks the tackle, of course. Not quite, though. To about the 38-yard line, Asante Gibson is the one that finally wrestled him down.
For a guy that's 230 pounds, to be able to stop and change directions as well as he does is really impressive. He's projected to be a top pick in the CFL draft, but he's getting enough NFL attention now that it actually hurts his CFL draft stock. You don't want to take him high in the CFL draft if he's going to go to the NFL.
5 yards again for Varga on that one. 52 now for the game. That one intended for Randall. High, deflected, and complete.
I understand changing it up, Randy, and you can't do the same thing every time, but Going to be tough against this Harvard zone defense to really drive the ball down the field. If I'm Yale and I feel like I'm getting 4, 5, 6 yards a pop with Tyler Varga right now, I continue to run him. And here on 3rd down and 5 from the 38, this is 4-down territory. They don't have to throw it. They don't have to get all 5 yards here.
And it will be Varga. The same play as last time. Inside the 25 to the 24, 14 more for Tyler Varga.
Once again, Randy, he stops on a dime. Watch him put his right foot in the ground right there, cut it back, because he gets a nice cut on the backside by left tackle Khalid Cannon, the sophomore. And right now, Yale is having their way with Harvard up front.
66 yards already by Tyler Varga. This time Roberts will keep it, and he'll get nothing. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. And there's Zach Hodges.
I think that's probably the last time we're going to see Morgan Roberts pull the ball on a read option play. Because both times he's done it, Harvard's been right there waiting for him. That time it was number 92, Langston Ward, a part of this Harvard defensive line rotation, well disciplined on the backside by the Harvard defensive ends thus far.
Loss of a yard, 2nd and 11. Roberts looking for Wallace. Deflected away at the last moment by Ahern. Nice play by the junior corner.
That's a fantastic play by Ahern. He's basically one-on-one against Wallace on the near side, and he just comes through there and gets his right hand on it. I don't think Roberts able to get as much on that football as he wanted to. The wind is a factor.
3rd and 11.
And now you have back-to-back plays, Randy, where you didn't give the ball to Varga. So now you've got 3rd and long.
Wallace to the right. Deion Randall and Clemens to the left. Morgan fumbles the snap, whistles.
He was down.
He was down. His knee was down.
When he picked the ball up off the ground, his knee was down. And now Tony Reno needs to decide if he wants to do a 48-yard field goal or go for it. Good snap from Longinati, the center. Roberts, watch his right knee. His right knee is down as he picks it up. In the NFL, that would have been fine. In college football, he is down.
And that was a loss of 6. So now you're looking at 4th and 17 from the 31. It looks like they're going to go for it.
Harvard looks like they've got 2 deep safeties to both sides. Going to be hard to fit it in. And now they might have a delay of game on top of it.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So back them up 5 more. Now to the 36-yard line, where it'll make it 4th and 22. And now they're going to bring the punting unit on. They were going to go for it on 4th and 17. But that extra 5 yards has caused Tony Reno to change his strategy, and he'll bring on Brian Holmes to punt the ball away. Andrew Fisher is deep, standing at his own 10. That one is a low snap. Flag on the play. Ball will go into the end zone. But let's see what the penalty's all about. And it looks like a false start against Yale.
Illegal formation on the offense. Not enough men on the line of scrimmage. 5 yards will be added to the end of the kick. 1st down.
So an illegal formation for Yale. It'll give Harvard slightly better field position. 9 minutes and 37 seconds remaining in the first half. Yale up at Raymond James present the Ivy League Game of the Week. Yale leading Harvard 7-3 in a historic matchup that has Ivy League title implications for both teams. Harvard has already clinched a share of the title With a come-from-behind win last week, 17 straight unanswered points in the fourth quarter against Penn. Harvard will begin this drive from its 25-yard line. Play action for Hempel. Now incomplete. Out to Anthony Ferksker, the second leading receiver in terms of receptions behind Andrew Fisher. Out to the 32-yard line, 3 yards shy of the first down.
Kind of interesting, Randy, if Harvard loses this game, probably not going to feel like a championship season for them. You know, I mean, they come into this game already clinching at least a share, but if you lose the last game, you lose to Yale, they earn a piece of the championship on your field.
And the way the Ivy League does it, of course, there are no tiebreakers for head-to-head competition. They're just named co-champions. 2nd and 3. Hempel again to the air. And he has an open receiver, Saitu Smith, with the ball thrown behind him. Incomplete.
That's another missed opportunity for the Crimson right there, because Hempel had all kinds of time. He's throwing the deep post to Saitu Smith, who had a couple steps on the freshman, Jason Alessi. And even as he tried to slow down to get the ball, he was not able to put on the brakes enough.
Hempel has begun just 3 for 7 passing. 3rd and 3. Now incomplete to Tyler Hamblin for a first down. Hamblin with a slant over the middle, up over the 40-yard line.
You really like to see that right there. Right after Hempel misses a throw, watch this strike. Rifles it in there to Hamblin on the slant.
Pick up a 12 to the 44. Harvard's offense not as explosive statistically as Yale's, but they're no slouches either, especially when Hempel has been in the lineup in those 3 games this season. And Paul Stanton has been a key to that offense, but so far this game, Yale has done a great job on the Ivy League's second leading rusher, Darius Minora. Another sophomore that time. Yale's second leading tackler made the stop.
Really nice play by Minora, and you see there, number 34, Robert Reese got in on the play as well. But Minora, 14 tackles last week against Princeton, and already having a pretty good day so far today.
Stanton stopped again, no gain. Hempel could find nobody open and sacked. Jack Russian, his 5th sack of the season.
That was almost a coverage sack as much as anything else. And that's a great sign considering how young Yale was on defense. Hempel couldn't find anybody. Finally, Russian gets just enough of him to bring him down, which brings up another 3rd and long for Harvard. These are not the situations they typically find themselves in.
3rd and 12. Ferksker and Fisher to the left, Saitu Smith to the right. Looking for Ferksker, has him. Close to first down yardage at the 46.
Got a good spot there. I think he got it.
Nice throw by Hempel.
This is not easy. A deep out pass to the far hash. Quarterbacks will tell you that's about as tough of a throw as there is, especially in college football where the hash marks are wider.
Good coverage by Jason Alessi, who almost dislodged that ball. It was a first down to the 46. Hempel out to the right side. This is to Andrew Fisher to the 45. Short yardage. Marty Moesta with the tackle.
Harvard throws a lot of those wide receiver screens, and they tried to catch Yale sleeping there. Fake the wide receiver screen, throw it deep to Ferksker, but Yale was not fooled. Nice job in coverage, and then Moesta chases him down and makes the play.
The play netted just a yard. On 2nd and 9. Screen to Stanton. Falls at the 50. loss of 5.
Harvard is just not in a rhythm offensively, and this hasn't been one of the best offensive teams from Harvard. I mean, they're still averaging over 30 points a game, but they look like they had this set up. Blockers in front. The ball was not placed perfectly, and Stanton could not keep his balance, and yet again, it's 3rd and long.
14 yards to go from midfield. 3 wide receivers left, 1 to the right. And a flag.
All-star offense. 81 on the offense. 5 yards, 3rd down.
That was called on Tyler Hamblin, who was lined up in the slot to the left. So now it'll be 3rd and 19.
This is usually time for a screen or a draw, because it is pretty difficult, especially in these windy conditions, to drive the ball down the field enough to get 20 yards through the air.
Pass hit as he threw, intended to the right side, incomplete for Ricky Zorn. Hempel took a shot as he let the ball go. Fortunate that that one wasn't picked off the way it was launched after that hit.
I really like the decision here to blitz. Rick Flanders brought Charles Cook off the edge, gave Hempel quite the shot, and then Zorn, really playing for the first time all year, not able to make the play against Dale Harris. These Yale defensive backs are coming up big.
Bicknell, just a 25-yard punt the last time against the wind. Deion Randall deep for Yale. Much better punt this time. Randall calls for a fair catch back at the 15-yard line. 40-yard punt. That time against the wind by Bicknell. A low-scoring game so far in the first half. Not what we expected. Yale leading Harvard 7-3. Today's Kay Jewelers go-to guy is Yale's punishing running back Tyler Varga. 21 touchdowns this season, 8 games with 100-plus rushing yards. And if you were playing fantasy football with these guys, Tyler Varga would be a must. He's averaging 15 points a game in addition to 144 yards. And there's Varga on first down. Up over the 20.
Well, listen, I'm just announcing the game, but if I was the coach for Yale, that young man would have over 30 carries today. That's all I know for sure, because he has been the most effective part of Yale's offense. You mentioned the 15 points per game. That's #1 in all of FCS football.
Varga already has 13 carries for 72 yards. That one picked up 6 to the 21. 2nd and 4. Roberts going deep for his primary receiver, Wallace, incomplete and overthrown. Now down to the sideline in Carolyn Mantle.
Hey, Randy, well, as you might expect, Tony Reno very excited about what his young defense has been able to do so far. A couple minutes ago, he made a point to sprint right over to the group on the sidelines, got right in the middle, and was praising them heavily, yelling at him, great job, keep it up.
That's one reason why Harvard was such a big favorite, despite the fact that, besides the fact they were playing at home, was questions about the Yale defense. 3rd and 4, incomplete, intended for Randall. And it'll be a 3 and out for that Harvard defense.
Both quarterbacks not quite as sharp as they've been this year. Morgan Roberts had Deion Randall here, stepped into it, just threw it behind him. I think maybe he got scared off a little bit by number 49, Eric Meads, almost trying to throw a back shoulder throw to Deion Randall there. Each one of these punts is an adventure, though, something to keep an eye on.
Brian Holmes punting it away. Andrew Fisher is deep, waved everyone off as the ball will roll all the way to the 31-yard line of Harvard, where the Crimson will take possession with 3:49 remaining in the half. Coming up, the football hotbed, Cambridge, Massachusetts. We'll tell you more. Stay with us. 9 down the first half. Yale clinging to a 7-3 lead. Harvard will take possession this time from the 31-yard line. If you're a football fan in Cambridge, you're flying pretty high right now. Not only is Harvard 9-0, a lot of people don't even know MIT, their next-door neighbor, has a football team, but MIT is also 9-0. As we get a reverse here to Andrew Fisher. Fisher, wide open spacing. He may go all the way. Brought down at the 11-yard line by Dale Harris. A little razzle-dazzle.
Fisher is their big play guy. He's got speed to burn. Coaches told me he's the fastest player on the team. And you gotta love the first play after the timeout, coming out and getting the ball in his hands somehow, some way, since they've struggled to get him the ball through the air.
58 yards for Andrew Fisher. He had a 58-yard touchdown run as a freshman. And it takes Harvard all the way to the 11-yard line, and Connor Hempel is going to want a timeout. Let's take another look at that reverse.
They fake the inside counter to Stanton. He hands it to Fisher coming around the right. And the beauty of that is the reason why they fake the counter is not only do they get Yale going the other way, but they have some of their offensive linemen over there to block. And he ran right towards the Harvard student section. What an effort, by the way, by Dale Harris right now.
Yeah, to corral him and just get a hold of his ankle there and prevent the touchdown.
That can't be easy, and that might be a play that prevents points.
All right, so we told you about the success that Cambridge institutions, more known for their higher learning, have had on the football field. For more, let's go to Carol.
That's right, Randy. And Harvard running back Paul Stanton didn't really know that both teams were undefeated until last week. He said, you know what, MIT actually recruited me a little bit, but as he recalls, he doesn't think he had the grades to get into MIT, Randy. He just had to settle for Harvard.
Maybe that's why he didn't go to Princeton either. Same concern, maybe.
Harvard's first 12 rushes netted 26 yards. That reverse, 58 on first down. A fumble by Stanton, and Yale has it. Darius Minora comes up with the ball. Another missed opportunity for the Crimson.
That has really been the story of the game so far. Hempel giving the ball to Stanton and just not a clean exchange. You wonder maybe if the lack of practice time for Hempel is a factor in that. And you see how excited the Yale Bulldogs are. That is a big break for them. And you can see she's happy.
Yale obviously not known for its defense. It's a young group, and so far in the first half, they've come up big from the 11-yard line. It'll be Roberts firing out to Wallace for a gain of 5 to the 16. Ahern, who's had a big game for Harvard already, is there for the stop. Mark it at the 12. Or excuse me, mark it at the 17-yard line. So it'll be second down and 4. And back to Varga. Maybe a yard for Tyler.
If you're Yale right now, obviously you want to get first downs and try to score, but you're also trying to grind as much clock here as possible.
We're inside 2.5 minutes. Third down and 3. This could be Tyler Varga time again. Puts his head down and gets a first down up to the 22.
And now I think your mindset changes a little bit if you're Yale. Now you go to a little bit more of a hurry up now that you got the first down. Unless there's a turnover, Harvard's not likely to get the ball back with enough time to do anything. Now Yale needs to go even more on the offensive.
4 wide receivers for Roberts. Finds nobody open. Gets away from a sack. He'll get past the line of scrimmage. Perhaps, as Eric Meads brings him down.
And Roberts is limping.
Yeah, look at that.
He's a little gimpy after that tackle by Meads.
2nd and 9. Roberts did get a yard out of that to the 23. He came up limping a little earlier when he was hit on the sideline in the first quarter. First down over the middle. That pass complete for another first down reception. That one by Stephen Burek, the tight end.
They don't go to the tight ends often, but Burek delivers when they do. And the Bulldogs are on the move.
From the 39. Just over a minute to play. That one incomplete. Stops the clock at 1:05.
That might have been Zach Hodges there. Off the edge. Yale had 2 men for him, and Hodges still able to get his right hand in there. Hodges has gotten a lot of attention from offenses and pro scouts this year. One of the highest rated prospects in all of FCS football.
Candler Rich is in the game in place of Varga. That pass overthrown, intended for Wallace. It'll bring up 3rd down with 1:02 remaining.
See, Roberts is trying to stay loose there. He's hurting. That is something to keep an eye on as this game unfolds. Doesn't help when it's this cold either.
Big 3rd down play for the Bulldogs. They try to get more points on the board before halftime. Roberts short. Bounced that one in the direction of Dion Randall, who was covered well anyway. And Roberts hobbles off the field as Yale is going to punt it away again. Roberts takes a seat on the bench to lick his wounds there. Brian Holmes will come on to punt it. And he'll be punting it to Andrew Fisher, who just had that big run on the reverse. A low snap again. More problems getting it away. What a great job Holmes did to get the punt off. And they'll roll inside the 20 down close to the 15-yard line. Some athleticism there by the sophomore punter, Brian Holmes, who narrowly avoided yet another block
punt. That is a terrific play by Holmes right there. I mean, just a heads-up play. You'll see, I think it was Sheehan who was about to block it, number 50. A little bit of a pump fake there by Holmes and a little shimmy to the side before getting the ball off. That almost certainly is the difference between points and not for Harvard here.
That pump fake and the shimmy will be very important to the scoreboard here with 37 seconds left in the half. So from its own 15, don't be surprised if Harvard just tries to run out the clock here with Hempel and Stanton. We'll see. They've been pretty conservative so far. When you got Paul Stanton, you can get some yards anyway, up over the 20. Dale Harris on the stop.
Both teams seem content to let the clock run out and go into halftime 7-3.
So it winds down inside 20 seconds. No player on this Yale team has ever experienced a victory over Harvard. 7 straight wins Harvard has had in this series. But Yale will go into the first half with a 7-3 advantage. Connor Hempel has not been able to put a touchdown on the board for Harvard. Back down now to Carolyn.
Well, Coach, it hasn't been an error-free game, but you guys have been able to capitalize on a few key mistakes. How would you assess the first half?
Yeah, I think there's been mistakes on both sides, and we were just fortunate enough to get in the end zone on the one, and they kicked the field goal. So we got to keep playing one play at a time for the second half, and we have to go in and improve in the halftime. Morgan
Roberts has taken a couple of big hits. He was grabbing at his ankle on the sidelines. How concerned are you about him?
He's fine.
Okay, and then just lastly for you, your defense was really the question mark, I guess, coming into this game, the onus was going to be placed on them. How satisfied are you with what they've been able to do?
I think they're a nice job so far. I mean, Harvard's got a good offense. We have to keep playing, and I think offensively we shot ourselves in the foot on multiple occasions. We should have some more points on the board.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Most expected a high-scoring game. That hasn't been the case in the first half. Stay with us. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, college football scores and highlights. We'll check in on number 6 Ohio State and preview the Sunday night football matchup between the Cowboys and the Giants. Ross Tucker. Ross, a lot of people wouldn't have been surprised to see a 35-30 kind of game. Instead, so far, it's just the opposite. Why?
Well, that's because both teams have had missed opportunities. There's been miscues on both sides, especially Harvard, though, Randy. And you don't expect that from a team that comes into the game 9-0. It started with the Connor Hempel fumble. And Harvard, quite frankly, was really fortunate to get the ball back there. And he just doesn't seem to be playing as well as he has other times in his career.
So far, the offensive statistics in this game, as you see, the fumble by Paul Stanton Jr., who was held to only 34 yards in the first half, have been pretty meager for both sides, really.
It really has. For Yale, though, they did have that one drive where they got it cooking a little bit. It was quick passes from Morgan Roberts out to first Grant Wallace, then the freshman, Michael Siragusa, and then they finish off the drive with Tyler Varga. And I expect to see a lot more of number 30 in the second half. That has been their most successful offense by far. What probably is the biggest surprise for Yale is how well they played defensively. Only giving up 3 points, and that was after a block punt gave Harvard the ball inside the 10. This young Yale defense has been flying all over the field.
And the stats show that to be true when Harvard has 118 total yardage, 58 of which came on one play, a reverse by Andrew Fisher. So other than that, only 60 yards of offense by the Crimson in the first half.
Yeah, I'm not that surprised that Yale only has 7 points or 143 yards going against this Harvard defense. But for Yale's defense to slow down Harvard the way they have, really, really impressive and surprising.
Harvard quarterback Connor Hempel held in the first half to just 28 yards passing. 7-3 at halftime. We'll be back with the second half kickoff right after this. Coach Tim Murphy.
Coach, what was the message to the team at halftime?
Well, there's going to be adversity. Defenses have played well. The wind conditions are certainly factoring into it. When we got our opportunities, we have to finish.
You've hung your hat on your defense. What do you need to do specifically to get the offense going?
Well, we got to make a few plays. Obviously, against the wind, it's tough for both teams. But when we get in position, we had a couple times down in the red zone. We got to finish those plays.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Connor Hempel, 7 of 12 passing in the first half for just 28 yards. Paul Stanton Jr. only 34 yards on 10 carries with a fumble. But Harvard will get a chance to have first possession here in the second half after deferring in the opening coin toss.
Pretty interesting to hear Coach Murphy reference the wind not once but twice.
Yeah.
I think that gives you a little indication for why Roberts and Hempel have not been as accurate as normal. I mean, Connor Hempel is the all-time leader in completion percentage in Harvard football history at 67%. And Morgan Roberts, he's just number 1 in the country, 69% all of FCS. You're talking about 2 of the most accurate quarterbacks in all of college football.
Well, Harvard will begin this half with the wind at their backs. Saitu Smith takes that opening kickoff against the wind, has some running room out over the 40, still on his feet to the 42-yard line, a 27 or 28-yard return for Smith. Good field position for Harvard. To start, Jason Alessi on the stop for Yale.
Saitu Smith has been doing this for years for Harvard. Really well blocked. You see Connor Sheehan in front, cuts it back, and if Alessi doesn't make that tackle there, you wonder if Saitu Smith would have had enough to take that all the way back. I think Harvard's going to lean on their offensive line a little bit. I think Connor Hempel recognizes, especially with the wind, they think that this is the best offensive line they've had under Coach Murphy, and they want to utilize it.
So far, that young Bulldog defense has done a great job on Stanton, and here is Stanton again. This time, he has room. Stanton with a first down to the 46-yard line.
They've got a lot of studs up front, Randy. Take a look at it. You'll see Anthony Fabiano, the right guard, pulls around, gets a nice block on Darius Minora. Pancake block. And if Charles Cook doesn't trip up Paul Stanton Jr. there, he takes it to the house.
You got right tackle Cole Toner, center Nick Easton, both of whom considered in some quarters to be NFL prospects on that offensive line there. First down, Hempel out bounces it to Andrew Fisher, so it'll be incomplete. Yale saying they came up with the ball, but incomplete pass. The ball hit the ground before it got to Fisher.
And you can see absolutely that ball bounced before Fisher caught it. Although I think Harvard would have just lost a couple yards on it anyway, so.
Fisher played that one like a shortstop.
Yeah. This is a pet peeve of mine, Randy, but when you're having success in the run game, either team, I'm a big believer, maybe just because I was an offensive lineman, but stick with it. Make them show they can stop it.
Well, they got 4 wide receivers right now with Stanton in the backfield, and they're going to pass it, and that's out to Fisher on the bubble screen. Fisher to the 38. It'll be about 3 yards shy of the first down.
That's a big part of Harvard's offense is the quick screen and having 2 tight ends. You'll see, look, not 1 but 2 tight ends out there in space for Harvard, Hamblin, and Ferkser. Yale defensive coordinator Rick Flanders said that's really what's so impressive is on most of their wide receiver screens, they've got 240-pound guys out there laying those blocks.
3rd and 3. Back out to Fisher again, this time with the right side. And he fights for first down yardage. The ball comes loose. Is it ruled a fumble? No. First down, Harvard.
Cole Champion, the junior safety, did a nice job ripping the ball out. But the officials say that Fisher was down. Let's take a look. Fisher spins back in.
Good call.
Yeah, it looks to me like he was down. Does anything get down before that ball starts? Ooh, I don't know. You take another look at it. I don't know if any elbow or forearm or knee went down. Remember, there's no replay in the Ivy League, so it's a moot point.
Back to Stanton on first down. For 4 to the 30. Boye Oluwakan with another tackle. Team's leading tackler, hard-hitting sophomore.
I think we know what Harvard's game plan is in the second half. Stanton up the middle and wide receiver screens galore.
That's all we've seen so far from this possession.
You know what? If you're going to keep picking up 4 and 5 yards doing it, how can you blame them?
Fisher not in the game right now, though. On 2nd and 6. Hempel back to the air. That one complete to Tyler Hamblin. First down inside the 20. Dale Harris on the coverage. Hamblin, the big 6'4", 240 senior from Syracuse, New York.
Hamblin had a tough time getting on the field earlier in his career because he was playing behind 2 NFL players.
Yeah.
Kyle Juszczyk, who was drafted in the 4th round, plays now for the Ravens, and Cam Brate, who played for Harvard last year, is on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers practice squad. Hamblin
listed as an H-back, just like Juszczyk used to be called. Ball marked at the 19. Hempel changing the play. And whistles. Timeout, Harvard. So Tim Murphy didn't like what he saw there as that play began to unfold. We'll be right back. Just a few minutes into the 3rd quarter, still 7-3 Yale, although Harvard is on the move now to the 19-yard line. Tim Murphy, quite a career so far at Harvard, of course, previously with Cincinnati, but right now the all-time leading coach here at Harvard and 3rd all-time in wins among Ivy League head coaches. From the 19, 1st and 10. Quarterback draw for Hempel. Another first down. Inside the 10, it'll be 1st and goal for Harvard.
Gotta like that play call because they again faked the wide receiver screen to the left. So the Yale defenders all dropped, thinking pass. That hole parted like the Red Sea, the Crimson Red Sea.
5 first downs the entire first half for Harvard, 4 on this drive alone, their first possession of the second half.
Got to lean on that veteran offensive line when you get down here.
Andrew Caston is checked in place of Paul Stanton in the backfield. Fake reverse, Hempel again up the middle to the 3. It'll be 2nd and goal.
Teams like to utilize their quarterbacks running the football down near the goal line because it gives them an extra blocker. That time they brought in Andrew Caston, the senior backup running back, specifically to be the lead blocker for Hempel there. Would not be surprised if we see another play at some point that's a run-pass option for Hempel.
Ball marked at the 4. Caston remains in the game. And he'll get it up the middle. Burrowing to about the 1. Gaston ran for 153 yards earlier this year in the season opener against Holy Cross when Stanton was hurt. He's talented as well. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Harvard is going with the heavy formation.
10th play of the drive. Stanton is checked back in now.
4 tight ends in the game for Harvard.
4 a yard away. The extreme power set. No wide receivers. Stanton in the backfield. And here he is for the touchdown.
Well, it was time, Randy. I mean, it was time to lean on that offensive line, especially the right side of the offensive line. And look at them. All 3 guys on that side pushing the white defenders in Yale uniforms back into the end zone.
Nice block by Matt Brown, the wide receiver, who's also a member of Tommy Amaker's basketball program here. Andrew Flesher at the point after. Harvard takes the second half kickoff, marches down the field for his first touchdown of the game, and now Harvard has a 10-7 lead over its arch rival Yale. Paul Stanton Jr. getting the touchdown. Harvard takes a 10-7 lead with a 58-yard scoring drive in 10 plays. Paul Stanton Jr. with his 29th career touchdown. A 1-yard run. Head coach Tim Murphy talking so much about the importance of the wind in Harvard with its first possession of the second half. With the wind, gets the touchdown. Andrew Flesher kicking off to Dion Randall. Randall feels it at the goal line. Ooh, hard hit. Up over the 20. Don't forget, this afternoon, Notre Dame football over on 82-yard line.
Irish need their defense to play better, Randy. I mean, they've just given up too many points. The injury to linebacker Joe Schmidt has really hurt. It seems like it was only about a month ago where they should have beat Florida State. And they got robbed.
Against any Bobby Petrino offense, you got to have your defense in good shape. Tyler Varga. 76 yards rushing in the first half. But the Crimson defense did a good job on him there on that carry to the 24. Pick up a 2. Dan Moody making the stop.
I think every sport momentum's a big factor, but it certainly feels like in college sports and college football, that's especially true.
So against the wind, they're going with Varga on the ground the first 2 plays of the second half. Varga up to the 27-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Nice play by Obum Obukwelu, younger brother of Nnamdi Obukwelu, who spent some time on the Colts practice squad this year. What a story for those 2 guys.
And their older brother, Iffy. 3 of them from the same family. Nigerian immigrants, their parents, all playing at Harvard. went to Harvard. That's impressive enough. 3rd and 5. This time Roberts will throw it. Incomplete. Randall, no flag. Zach Hodges was all over him. Eric Meads was there.
Well, this is a great job by Meads. You'll see number 49, I should say, right in the middle of your screen. He reads that perfectly and times it up. Randall felt like Meads made contact before the ball got there. But a nice job by Meads identifying that in his zone coverage.
The third and out of the game for Yale. Brian Holmes punting it away to Fisher. Fisher will take it at the 35. Over the 40 to about the 41. Ross Strahl on the tackle there. A 3 and out for the Harvard defense after working the field for their first touchdown of the game. And this one also starts from the 42. Is a full house here to watch at Harvard Stadium. The 131st edition of The Game. Connor Hempel on first down is going for all of it. He's got Fisher. Fisher's open, diving, makes the catch at the 15. Inside the 15. Andrew Fisher, but a flag. No, Hempel is down. Hempel is down. He's okay, but no flags. Hempel slow to get up.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say he's fine. He took a shot and landed right on that shoulder. We'll see if we can see it get boom right on that injured shoulder. And what a play by Fisher to press the turbo button so he had enough to get underneath that football after Hempel threw it while he took that shot.
A 45-yard pickup. Fisher's been involved in the 2 biggest plays of the day yardage-wise for Harvard. That 58-yard reverse as well. Stanton up the middle. We're about the 7-yard line. We'll have to keep our eye on Hempel now and see if he's okay with that right shoulder. A vicious hit.
It's not the hit as much as it driving him down into the turf. You know, it's okay if Kapachi Tyler hits him in the ribs on the left side, but it was 285, 290 pounds driving him into the frozen turf here at Harvard that really might have impacted his shoulder.
So we'll keep an eye on Hempel. 2nd and 4 now after that 6-yard gain by Stanton. Smith in motion. Play action. Hempel to the corner. Incomplete. Intended for Hamble.
Nice job by Dale Harris. He's having a day. He's having a day in coverage, tackling. He has been an absolute force today.
And importantly, Hempel's arm looked okay on that throw.
Yeah, you'll see left side of your screen. They had the matchup they wanted, Hamblin on a corner. But Dale Harris, left hand right there, gets it in. That's exactly how they teach it. If you're not going to get your hand on the football, wait until the receiver's just about to grab it and knock their arm down.
3rd and 4. Fisher, Smith, and Ferksker wide right. Stanton in the backfield. Over the middle to Ferksker, high, incomplete. Couldn't bring it in. 4th down.
Hempel's frustrated. Let's take a look at it. It's a slant.
That's catchable.
Yeah, Ferksker only got one hand on. You can see by the way he clapped right there. I think Ferksker believes he should have caught that football. Maybe that's why Hempel was frustrated.
So on comes Andrew Flesher for his 2nd field goal attempt of the game. He had a 25-yarder in the first period. This one will be attempted from 24.
I think it was Kapachi Tyler, the sophomore defensive tackle, who delivered that blow to Hempel and then just fell flat on his face right there, trying to celebrate.
That's some exuberance there.
Oh, that was awesome. He is fired up, and he is a heck of a player as well. You'll see him get a push and just get a little bit on it. Watch Tyler. He is fired up.
All 6'3", 288 pounds of him, the sophomore from Springfield, Illinois. So it's still 10-7 Harvard. Yale takes over at the 20. Roberts to the right side, complete to Dion Randall. With more on Connor Hempel, let's go down to Carolyn.
Well, when Connor Hempel just came over to the sidelines, the training staff here at Harvard came over, asked him if he was okay, and he nodded yes. And then furthermore, Randy immediately went over to the sidelines and just started yelling, "We need to make big plays." He's very fired up here on the Harvard sidelines and seems to be okay physically.
There's Tyler Varga on that 2nd and 1, getting a first down to the 36. Yale again, as is their style, quickly back up to the line. As you see Hempel there.
Yeah, and that quickly, Randy, it feels like the momentum has swung back in Yale's direction.
Varga to the 30 or to the 39. A 3-yard pickup for the Ivy League's leading rusher.
Yale ends up winning this game. That'll be yet another series of downs that will show in terms of a missed opportunity for the Harvard Crimson to come out of that series of downs without any points.
Again, Varga. He'll be a couple yards shy of the first down. A little more than a yard, actually, and we'll bring up 3rd down now.
Getting a really nice push up front right now from that offensive line. Remember, this is a group that stayed healthy all season. They had the same 5 guys start every game last year. They haven't had an injury in 2 years up front.
This will probably be Varga again, and it is. And he stopped. The immovable object got the best of the unstoppable force on that one.
You very, very rarely see that. That's a terrific play. It's inside zone to the left. They get no movement. The center, Luke Longinati, gets pushed back a little bit, and James Duberg right there, the junior, who they said has had just a terrific season, makes a big play here late in the 3rd quarter of the biggest game, the game.
The first time this game, Varga has been stopped for no yardage. Yale punts it away. Ryan Holmes, fair caught by Andrew Fisher. 5 minutes, 1 second remaining in the 3rd quarter. Harvard up by a field goal. All week long, the storyline revolving around this game would be what would happen when the #1 scoring defense in the FCS belonging to Harvard ran up against Yale's #4 scoring offense and #1 total offense. So far, Ross, the Harvard defense is winning that matchup.
Yeah, I think both defenses are winning right now. We're keeping score.
And Harvard starts this possession from its own 22 past the Ferkster. Out of bounds at the 29. Gain of 7. Ferkster, a sophomore from New Jersey, didn't play at all as a freshman, but is #2 on the team in receiving behind Andrew Fisher. Has 4 touchdown catches this season. 2nd and 3.
Really a big part of what makes Harvard's offense so good is that they use those 2 tight ends so often, almost like the Patriots used to use Gronkowski and Hernandez.
Another reverse to Fisher. Last one went for 58. Andrew Fisher. Run out of bounds by Robert Rees. Another nice gain. 21 yards on that one.
And you want to talk about toughness. Watch Connor Hempel, the quarterback. Watch him throw a lead block here. That was a key block.
Just enough.
If he doesn't get a piece of Harabin, they probably don't get the chance to get that kind of yardage. And he threw his right shoulder in there. Hey, you know what? You might as well. This is your last college football game, and maybe your last game ever, although Hempel's going to give the NFL a shot.
There's Stanton up the middle for short yardage. Spitkins on the stop. Andrew Fisher already has 141 yards of total offense, 79 on the ground, 62 through the air, as Tim Murphy is using his speedster in a very good way.
Well, think about how he dropped the first pass of the game for Harvard. He's going to be up over 200 maybe.
He's rebounded from that quite nicely.
Harvard going with an unbalanced offensive line here. They've got 3 offensive linemen to the right of the center.
Hempel on 2nd and 8. High snap. Stanton up the middle. Falls forward to the 40-yard line for a first down. Oluwakan brings him down. But a nice gain from Paul Stanton.
This offensive line's taking over right now, Randy. Take a look at it. Down blocks at the point of attack. Mancinelli pulls around with a great block inside. They're having a lot of success with that power play.
34 yards in the entire first half for Stanton on the ground. He has 34 already in this second half. First down at the 40. Another reverse. This time to the right side, and it's going to be a pass from Saitu Smith to Fisher. Fisher still on his feet. Touchdown.
The irony of that play, Randy, is that Saitu Smith had all kinds of running room. He might have ran for 20, 30 yards or more, but he threw the pass even though there was pretty decent coverage there. A nice ball by Saitu Smith, and then Fisher did the rest.
Smith's second touchdown pass of this season as Flesher adds the point after. Harvard goes up by 10. We saw Fisher on a couple of big reverses. That time Saitu Smith, but he pulls it up and hits Fisher for the touchdown.
You'll see Saitu Smith come around. He actually has Hempel in front. Looks just like it did when they ran with it. Smith gets just enough on it. It was the freshman, Jason Alessi, who bit on the fake a little bit. Good job by Harvard to try to take advantage of a freshman playing in the game, and Alessi almost able to adjust to make the play, but not quite. And Harvard's on the board again.
Its first 2 drives of the second half. Harvard takes in for touchdowns.
Sometimes you save these plays for this game. You know, we've been doing this game for a bunch of years here now on NBCSN, and there's always a couple trick plays from each team. That time Harvard cashed in on theirs.
Harvard actually had another possession in the second half here that ended with that blocked field goal, but 2 for 3 here in the second half of the Crimson to take a 17-7 advantage. As Flesher will now kick it off to Deion Randall and Candler Rich again. There is Saitu Smith. The senior from Deerfield Beach, Florida, attended the same high school as former Michigan star Denard Robinson, who's now running back with the Jags. In fact, his father taught Robinson math in middle school. Randall from 5 yards deep. Will just take a knee. And now Tony Reno and company have got to get something going from this prolific offense that so far has been held in check by the Harvard defense.
They're averaging close to 600 yards a game, over 43 points per game. They're going to have to come out and show that. They need to answer right now. Let's be honest. You see what's at stake with the Ivy League standings, and Dartmouth has a lead on Princeton right now.
Harvard trying to wrap up an undefeated season. So far, Yale has just 172 total yards in this game, 587 average for the season, as you pointed out on first down. Roberts complete to Randall, first down.
The good thing for Yale is they do run the up-tempo offense, and they have had so much success this year that a 10-point deficit is not that much, especially with over 17 minutes to play.
From the 38. Complete again for a first down. That one by Sebastian Little. Little and Stephen Burek, tight ends, had missed some time due to injury, but returned to the lineup last week against Princeton.
Roberts looking like he's feeling it a little bit, showing no ill effects to the lower leg injury he had at the end of the first half.
That was a 17-yard pickup to the 45 of Harvard. Again to the air. Plenty of time for Roberts. Over the middle, complete to Wallace. Another first down.
And the first thing Harvard does, Randy, is they're going to rotate a whole new defensive line in because Roberts had way too much time to be able to deliver that ball to Grant Wallace against the zone. You cannot cover forever at any level of football.
Morgan Roberts and the Bulldogs seeming to come out with some urgency here. Tyler Varga now on first down. Inside the 30. Norman Hayes again on the stop. Ball marked on the 28, inside a minute 30 to play. Is this a must-score drive for Yale, you think?
Well, now that they're inside the 30, it is. I mean, you've come this far at this point. You better get some points here somehow.
Play action to Varga going for Wallace, incomplete. Nice coverage again by Sean Ahern.
And again, you can hear the Yale faithful believing there should have been a penalty thrown here. Wallace will run the skinny post. And that's a good no call.
Yeah. Another look at it.
Third down here, Randy, but I believe this is four-down territory. I do not think they're going to attempt a field goal from this long.
Randall and Clemens wide left. Mike Siragusa in the game now, wide right. He's going to the right flat, complete to Varga, first down.
Clutch throw and catch by two guys that are both in the running for the Ivy League Offensive Player of the Year. Roberts takes his time, gets it to Varga, who has to spin around a little bit, make an adjustment to haul it in.
A big third down conversion from the 20. Varga to the 16. Matt Corrin on the tackle.
Now, Yale's been in this atmosphere this season. Randy, they beat the Army Cadets earlier this season. There was 35,000 people there, guys coming in on parachutes. They've been in a big environment, and they found a way to get it done.
They won that game in overtime, with Varga scoring 5 touchdowns in that one. That one over the middle, incomplete. Again going for Wallace. Again, Ahern in coverage.
Well, you know that head coach Tim Murphy, recruiting coordinator Scott Lucas, you know they've done a nice job. When you lose 5 of your 6 guys in the secondary, you're worried about your corners. And then these guys like Ahern and Evans come in and play all Ivy caliber ball. That's recruiting, and that's why Harvard has been the best team in the league during Murphy's tenure.
Another big third down, this time 3rd and 6. Varga's back in the game. Pass, a wrestle for it, intercepted. Connor Sheehan down the right sideline. He's got an open field, and Connor Sheehan will take it all the way. A 90-yard interception return for the senior from Austin, Texas, who had 2 pick sixes in one game earlier this year against Columbia. Talk about a tide turner.
And you can see the Yale fans are absolutely stunned, and I don't blame them. Yale was on the move, looking like they were about to get points. And the ball, I think, touched the Yale receiver first, but Sheehan just ripped it away and took it the other direction for her 3rd pick 6 of the season. What a play.
Wow, Flesher for another point after. looked like we might have a 17-14 game. Instead, Harvard goes up 24-7. Just seconds remaining in the third quarter. Take another look at it. It was a wrestling match.
It really was. You'll see. It looked like Robert Clemens had the ball, and then Sheehan just ripped it away. And what a nice job by him to put his right hand down and balance so that his knee didn't come down. That's what enabled him to be able to get the touchdown. And his defensive coordinator, Scott Larkey, told us this week he's done such a good job with his zone drops. Had a terrific year, the senior, and you can see why right there. He just made maybe the back-breaking play in the game.
His fourth career interception, third pick six of this season against Columbia. He had pick sixes of 49 and 48 yards. He's got a nose for the ball. Connor Sheehan from Austin, Texas. Texas and Texas A&M offered him a chance to walk on. They thought at 5'10" he was a little short to offer a scholarship to, but he's made the most of his time here at Harvard. So, 6 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
And you wonder, having been in some of these games, Randy, if some of the Yale Bulldogs are starting to think, here we go again. Have not beaten Harvard since 2006. 7 straight wins for the Crimson in this series.
12 of the last 13. Yale had a 7-3 lead at halftime. Harvard has come out here in the third quarter with 21 unanswered points. Flesher kicking off now to Randall and Rich. Randall from the 1. To the 21. And that's the end of the third quarter of play. Harvard just a quarter away from a 10-0 season. A perfect mark in the Ivy League and another Ivy League championship. After that stunning 90-yard interception return by Connor Sheehan, Yale now with its back to the wall, down 24-7 as we begin the fourth quarter. Starting this drive from the 21-yard line. Deion Randall takes that one. He'll get to about the 28 as we go back down now to Carolyn Manno.
Well, Randy, right as the third quarter came to a close, Tony Reno gathered the entire team together and gave an impassioned speech. He said that scoreboard doesn't matter. It's about the next play. He was looking at everybody, pointing at everybody, trying to get the sidelines riled up to get back in this game.
Tyler Varga close to the first down up over the 30.
And Randy, that's the message that he's constantly preaching to his team. He said, I know it sounds corny, but we really believe that we're playing against ourselves. Everything he does is process oriented. The next day, the next play, and that's really the only way they can get back in this thing.
On first down, Roberts incomplete, intended for Clemens. Little wide of the mark. Clemens couldn't hang on. What a job the Harvard defense, Zach Hodges, Norman Hayes and company have done against this Yale offense.
Well, and this is a problem for Yale. I mean, as good as Morgan Roberts has been, when you get in this situation now, it pretty much negates Tyler Varga, who is still your best offensive player.
And to that point, Candler Rich has checked in now in place of Tyler Varga.
A lot of times they like Rich on passes down the field, out of the backfield.
And that's where he's headed right now. Roberts, though, goes instead over the middle, incomplete for Randall. Good coverage by Connor Sheehan, the man of the hour here for the Crimson.
These Harvard linebackers so good with their zone drops and reading the eyes of the quarterback. That is not easy for linebackers to cover at any level of football. They do about as good of a job as there is in FCS ball.
3rd and 10 from the 31. Harvard has 7 passes defensed in this game. Good job by that secondary. That one in the hands. Is it complete? Did it get in bounds? Yes, Sebastian Little. Nice catch. First down, Yale.
Wow, dangerous throw by Roberts, but at this point, you're going to have to take some chances. Just gets it over the outstretched hand of Jake Lindsey. It's a good thing for Yale they blew the play dead, too, because Norman Hayes ripped the ball out.
17 yards to the 48, first down, screen to Wallace, to the 46, into Harvard territory. This Yale offense is designed with a hurry-up component to put points on the board in a hurry. That's exactly what the Bulldogs need to happen. On second down, Roberts to Randall. Inside the 40, moving the chains again to the 39.
I think Randall started to make that move to avoid Matt Corrin before he even caught the football. You know, the problem is going against Harvard, they play such a soft zone coverage because they can, because they trust their 4 defensive linemen to get there, that they're dropping 7. Really tough to get a big play deep down the field.
6th catch for Randall, 45 yards, first down. Roberts going for Siragusa. He's got it at the 1. Down at the 1-yard line. Mike Siragusa, the freshman. Sean Ahern again on the coverage. The biggest play in Siragusa's young career here.
And of course, right as I say that, Yale goes deep against a cover 3 zone. They drop 7, but Ahern let Siragusa get behind him, even though he's supposed to have the deep third of the field.
First and goal, Varga time, bounces off one tackler, touchdown. After the interception return, Yale responds.
And what a response it was. Watch Tyler Varga gets hit dead square in the hole by Asante Gibson. Just absorbs it and goes the other way for a touchdown.
So this is what Yale typically does with holder Logan Scott sizing up the defense. Then they'll shift formations, and the left-footed Kyle Cazzetta on to try the point after. That would bring Yale back to within 10. There's still plenty of time, 12:35 to play. You see what Yale is capable of doing as they march down the field. Mike Siragusa, the freshman, the big catch to the 1, and Tyler Varga with the touchdown. Yale quarterback Morgan Roberts, 5 for 7 for 75 yards on that last scoring drive. They covered 9 plays, 79 yards total, and brings Yale to within 10 of Harvard, 24-14.
And there's still plenty of time to go, over 12 minutes. That is an eternity, especially in college football with the clock stopping every time there's a timeout.
And Yale also is with the wind here in the fourth quarter. That could be an important component as well. Holmes pops up that one. It'll be fielded by Saitu Smith at about the 17. Actually goes down just over the 20. Don't forget Sunday night football up at the Arizona Cardinals in the NFC West.
That's going to be a huge game. They're both going to need that game to really stay in the thick of the playoff race. Much to everybody's surprise, I think.
And Yale needs to bolster that last scoring drive with a defensive stop here if it wants to get back into this game. First down, that pass complete out to Ferkster. Close to the first down. About a yard shy at the 33. Less than a yard.
A lot of confidence being shown in Connor Hempel right there. Yeah, you got a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. I think head coach Tim Murphy was expecting Yale to think a run was coming. And here Harvard has that unbalanced line again. This time it's to the left. Will they run that power up inside of the left again?
On short yardage, It is Stanton. To about the 39 and a first down. Freshman Earl Chisholm on the stop.
The two things that really stand out about this second half, obviously the Sheehan pick six, but also Harvard's offensive line. Very senior-laden, very talented, pounding on a bunch of freshmen and sophomores for the Yale Bulldogs. This is the older guys beating up the younger guys right now.
Mike Mancinelli, Nick Eastern, Anthony Fabiano, all seniors. Play action for Hempel. Nobody open. Flag on the play in the backfield. Hempel run out of bounds at the 36.
They're going to get Adam Redmond, the left tackle, for a hold.
51 offense. 10 yards from the original line of scrimmage. First down.
That's tough, Randy, because you're blocking the defensive end thinking that it's going to be a quarterback in the pocket. Look at the right side of your screen. He's blocking him, and then Chisholm goes away, and just that little bit. They wouldn't call a hold there until Hempel ran outside. And once Hempel runs outside, then Redmond holding on to Chisholm's jersey a little bit becomes a restrictive movement.
It's a tough call.
And it must be a tough call for Tony Reno as well, because he's huddling with the officials to decide whether or not he wants to accept the penalty.
There was a loss of 2 on the sack. So he's got his choice between a 2nd and 12 or a 1st and 20. And he'll take the 1st and 20. He'll take the penalty yardage back to the 28. Would you have done that?
No, I don't think so. I don't like giving them another down. Plus, that just gives them more time to run time off the clock.
Coming up on 11 minutes to play in the game. Hempel looks to Stanton on one side, to Ferkster with the screen on the other side. Ferkster out of bounds just over the 30-yard line.
That is just a heck of a job by Carl Kreitzberg, junior defensive tackle. He diagnosed this. They faked the screen and left. Watch Kreitzberg. He feels the offensive lineman go that way, so he gets those 290 pounds moving down the line. Doesn't end up making the tackle, but he did make the play. And if he wasn't there, Ferkster could have been off to the races.
Matthew Opplinger wound up bringing him down. Ricky Zorn in the game now, wide right. 3 wide receivers wide left, including Tyler Hamlin. But it'll be Stanton. Breaks the tackle. Over the 40. To the 42. It'll bring up 3rd and 6.
This is a very, very important play. Let's take a look at the blocking. You'll see Ricky Zorn comes in and gets enough of Dale Harris. You love to see those wide receivers block. But this is a difference-making play. This is one of those first plays here, Randy, in the 4th quarter where you can sense it's a big one.
Harvard 5 for 10 in the game on 3rd down conversions. It'll be Stanton again.
Wow.
What a stop shy of the first down by Cole Champion. A flag now has been thrown as well.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, 29 on the offense. 15 yards from the end of the run. 4th down.
That was on Paul Stanton. Champion stopped him a yard shy of the first down. And then Stanton whistled for the penalty.
Watch number 5, Champion, avoids the block from Fabiano and unloads. And you can see he's looking at Stanton, standing over him, and Stanton kind of trips him up. You have to throw the flag there. Again, Champion, number 5, comes in. A nice job by Aloakun of grabbing Stanton, and they see Stanton just trip up Champion. You just can't do that.
Champion kind of taunted him a little bit. It's the guy that responds that gets caught.
Always. That's why I like to be the antagonist.
David Bicknell now in to punt it away for Harvard. A short punt, the wind catches it. It was high. The wind just did a number on that. Doesn't even get to midfield. You could just see the wind blow it back. And it's out of bounds at the 46-yard line, and Yale will have fantastic field position. Only a 14-yard punt into that win. Boeing and Raymond James present the Ivy League Game of the Week. Yale head coach Tony Reno sensing perhaps a shift in things here in the fourth quarter as Zach Hodges of Harvard tries to fire up the crowd. Yale will begin with its best starting field position of the game at the 46-yard line of Harvard after that short punt.
Truly amazing how quick these games can change. I mean, Yale is within striking distance of making this a one-score game again.
Crowd of 31,062 watching his first down. Morgan Roberts goes deep. A flag on the play, caught by Wallace.
He caught it anyway.
Inside the 10.
Harvard really putting a lot on Sean Ahern's shoulders. They continue to put him, whether you call that man or whether he just has the deep third to that side. That is tough duty to ask him to be able to cover man-to-man like that.
6 on the defense. Penalty will be declined. Result of the play, first down.
Some of the Yale faithful thought that Ahern should have been called for interference on a couple of earlier plays and wasn't. This time he was, and it won't count anyway.
Right, I was just going to say, the one time he is, they called it, so it doesn't matter. What a nice adjustment by Wallace. You know, it's almost as if Ahern's pass interference helped him. It's like he spun Wallace around.
It was a 36-yard pickup, and it brings up first and goal from the 10. Roberts going back to the air, incomplete, intended for Siragusa, but overthrown in the corner. Siragusa, the same one that caught that long pass to set up the previous Yale touchdown.
Boy, Siragusa is a good-looking freshman, isn't he? That's the recruiting that Yale's done. A heck of a job.
Siragusa's father was briefly on the roster of the New England Patriots back in 1987. Talent runs in the family. Second and goal from the 10. Coming up on just shy of 9 minutes to play. 9:09. Varga still fighting for yardage to about the 8-yard line. Zach Hodges on the stop.
Yeah, the windows really get small here when you get down close to the goal line. Because Harvard's still going to drop 7 men into coverage, which makes it tougher to fit the ball in. The real question here on third down is how much time Roberts will have to try to find something in that zone.
Clemens and Randall left, Wallace left. Here's Roberts. Complete. Touchdown. Tyler Varga. Back-to-back scoring drives by Yale when it needed it most. And we have a game with 8:21 to play.
It kind of feels like this almost always happens in the game, doesn't it? You know, just when the one team looks like they've pretty much got it under control, the other team comes back as fate would have it.
This is a big point after by Cazzetta. Harvard has a tendency to block kicks. That one good. Yale within a field goal. Another touchdown, the second of the game from Tyler Varga. Harvard had a 24-7 lead, and just like that, it's 24-21. After that wind-blown 14-yard punt, Yale capitalized on its best field position of the day. 46-yard drive in 4 plays. It was actually Tyler Varga's 3rd touchdown of the game. A couple of runs, and then that 8-yard reception to bring it to 24-21. There is Connor Hempel, Harvard quarterback. And now a lot's going to be on his shoulders as well.
Yeah, talking to wide receiver coach Joe Villapiano there. Villapiano's been the recruiting coordinator for years. Part of the reason why this Harvard roster is so stacked.
Brian Holmes kicking off there to Fisher. Andrew Fisher up over the 20-yard line to the 22. Barkley's
extremely. Everywhere they watch it, including here, and lots of them.
Connor Hempel leads the Crimson. First down from the 22. Play action. A man open, Zorn. Did he get in bounds or not? Yes. Kept his feet in. Ricky Zorn.
I think that's the play they ran the first play of the game that Fisher dropped, and this might have been a touchdown as well.
Wow.
Well, I don't know. We need to get a credit card in there or something. I can't tell if that left toe was on the white or not. I do know this, though. The side judge was right there. Perfect position to make that call.
A 24-yard gain. Hempel to Zorn on first down. Stanton loses the ball. Yale has it.
This is unbelievable.
Another fumbled exchange between Hempel and Stanton. The second lost fumble as a result. Marty Moesta, who had a key block punt last week against Princeton, falls on that one.
I mean, how does this happen? You'll see Hempel puts it in, and Stanton never gets it. It's a senior quarterback, junior running back. They both played a lot of football. And it looks like Hempel put it in there the way he was supposed to. Man, this is a game of momentum.
And again, Yale starts a possession from the 46-yard line of Harvard. Varga to the 41, pick up a 5.
It felt like this game was almost over 5 minutes ago. I mean, this is just unreal.
Yale so explosive offensively. For the better part of 2.5 quarters, the Harvard defense held the Bulldogs in check. Varga again. He'll be a couple of yards shy of the first down. Jacob Lindsay made the stop for Harvard.
You just know, talking to these kids, talking to the alums, how much this game means.
And importantly, to follow up on a note you had earlier, now the running game is back in play for Yale.
They can lean heavily on Tyler Varga. This is 4-down territory. They're not kicking a 50-something yard field goal, so they can pound Tyler Varga 2 times in a row.
On 3rd and 2.
He got
Varga still wrestling with defenders and gets the first down.
Tyler Varga is an absolute physical phenom. Both his mom and dad, professional bodybuilders at one point. I said, I heard your mom could bench press 300 pounds. He said, no, she's 54 years old now.
From the 35, a pump fake. Then he goes back to the left side, complete to Wallace. Close to a first down, about a yard shy. And this Yale offense is now clicking.
Nice decision. Let's see if the ball hit the ground.
Oh, it did. But again, no replay in Ivy League. A break there for Yale. Second and 1. Varga time, you might expect. First down and more. To the 19.
You know how you usually hear an announcer say it's rare to see one guy bring him down? It's rare to see 2 guys bring him down. I mean, seriously, it's usually 3 guys that it takes to bring down Tyler Varga, who projected to be the 1st or 2nd pick in the CFL draft, being a native Canadian. But he's had such a good year and getting so much attention from NFL scouts now that CFL teams might actually be hesitant to draft him that high for fear that he'll never play for them.
Marked at the 20, first down, empty backfield, 5 wide receivers. To Roberts, to the left side, incomplete. Intended for Stephen Burek. 5:18 to play.
Tried to fit it there in that little window between Hodges and Ahern. Just a little high with that throw. Yale already in field goal range, especially with the wind at their back.
How about Hodges back there in coverage? 2nd and 10. Back. No, Roberts will keep it. Faked it to Varga, loses the ball, but I think he was down. Norman Hayes on the stop. Ruled down for a loss of yardage. And tried that play several times, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I mean, the first 2 times they tried it today, it didn't work at all. So to do it a 3rd time, and really, I think he read Zach Hodges the right way, but Norman Hayes, such a fantastic job running the alley there. Chandler Rich is in the game. He's the back that they like out of the backfield. Maybe a wheel route.
Harvard players and sideline firing up the crowd on 3rd and 13. This is Rich to about the 16 and to the middle of the field. Look like they're setting up a field goal try from Kyle Cazzetta.
I think that's exactly what they were doing, Randy. I think they thought, you know what? Maybe we could fool them by running it here, pop something up the middle, but at a minimum, we'll get the ball right in the middle of the field, gain some yards for a very makeable field goal.
With the win, this will be 34 yards for Cazzetta. He's had 3 46-yarders in his career. Distance is no issue, of course, especially with the wind at his back. A bit of a low snap, handled well. The kick, good. Kudos to Logan Scott, the holder, for handling that low snap and getting it in position for Cazzetta. And we have a tie game with 3:44 to play.
Boy, you said it, Randy. If Logan Scott doesn't get that low snap down in that placement, there's no way Cazzetta would have made the field goal.
In the history of this rivalry, Harvard-Yale has only gone into overtime once. That was 2005 when Yale won in 3 overtimes. Couldn't we be set on all 3 of its 4th quarter drives? We're tied at 24. And Ross, now in hindsight, how big does that 90-yard interception return by Connor Sheehan look?
Absolutely gigantic. And you can see the Yale kids are fired up. This atmosphere right now is absolutely awesome. Nobody in this game is on college scholarship, and very few have any idea of playing professional football. This game's important because it is, because it's the game. Even to her.
Brian Holmes has it teed up for Yale. Saitu Smith and Andrew Fisher deep for Harvard. 3:44 to play in the game. Yale has come alive on offense. Again, a little bit of bumping there on the reception. Fisher comes down with it, hit hard, and dropped at the 21. By Foye Oluokun. Harvard has had its chances and has made mistakes.
Well, it really started when they had 12 men on the field on the 4th down by Yale before a field goal. That led to a touchdown. Then as Harvard was going in for points, they fumbled. Darius Minora picked it up. And then again on the last series, another exchange issue between Hempel and Stanton. And we've got a tie ball game. There is no way I thought when it was 24-7 after the Sheehan interception return that Yale would score 17 unanswered points in about 10 minutes, but they did.
Once again, Harvard starts this one from its 22. Hempel setting up a screen to Stanton. To the 28.
You almost feel, Randy, the way this game has gone, that it's going to be a turnover that makes the difference. One of these teams going to fumble the ball or throw an interception based on how this game has gone so far.
Second and 4.
Harvard again has that unbalanced line. 3 offensive linemen to the right of the center. They've run power up the middle often out of this set.
Hempel will run it. Weaving, diving. Did he get the first down? Looks like it. Yes. Some nice, fancy footwork out of necessity there from Connor Hempel.
Really was. They faked the power. Hempel couldn't find anybody. This is one of the things he brings to the table with his athleticism and the gutsy senior from Kentucky, who's already had to suffer through 2 rough injuries this season, dives forward for a critical first down.
From the 33, Stanton. Close to the 40. Apache Tyler on the stop.
Probably not much of a surprise, Randy, but in these situations, I'm a firm believer in leaning on that offensive line.
No.
Well, listen.
Oh, you're probably right.
Head coach Tim Murphy said, this is the best offensive line we've had since I've been here. If that's the case, and you believe in those guys, and this should be when they take over, especially when they're going against a young freshman and sophomore-laden Yale defensive line.
More football to come. New Hampshire and Maine next on NBCSN. You got Notre Dame as well on NBC. Hempel play action to Hamblin, incomplete. Knocked away by Oloakan.
The ball was just a little bit behind Hamblin, and you'll see Oloakan. He does a nice job breaking on the ball just behind him a little bit. Might have been able to corral it if he didn't take that hit from Oloakan.
A minute 33 to play. It'll be 3rd and 3. 3 wide receivers wide left. Fisher, Ferksker, and Hamblin wide right. Saitu Smith. We've also got Stanton in the backfield. Don't forget him. And this is Stanton. First down and more. Stanton into Yale territory.
That is a nice open field tackle by Cole Champion, and Stanton's limping. A nice open field tackle. If Champion doesn't make this, you'll see, just cuts behind. It looked to me like the freshman Chisholm didn't get to his gap there.
13 yards from Stanton, but is he okay? Stays in the game. Hempel complete to Smith. But is it knocked away? Yes, incomplete.
They're going to bring Andrew Caston, the senior, in for Stanton. Stanton's really hobbling, and that's a problem. You'll see the throw by Hempel a little high. Smith had it until Dale Harris, who's had a whale of a game, rocked him in the back.
But keep in mind, Stanton ran for 153 yards and 3 touchdowns against Holy Cross, 139 yards and 4 touchdowns against Georgetown. You lose something, but not a lot. Caston next to Hempel. Hempel to the right side, complete to Fisher. First down, Harvard.
And the first thing Dale Harris did was look at freshman linebacker Matt Opplinger, and Opplinger said, that's my fault. Opplinger did not get underneath the out route as much as I think he wanted to. And you can see Harris looked at him, and Opplinger said, that's my bad.
7 catches, 115 yards from Fisher. Also has almost 80 rushing yards as well on reverses. First down from the 35. We're now inside a minute. Hempel going for it all. Going for Fisher. Touchdown. What a game for the junior Andrew Fisher.
I really was not expecting Harvard to go for it all there in that situation, but you know what? Yale probably wasn't either, and that's why Fisher was able to get behind Dale Harris, and a nice throw by Hempel when Harvard needed it most.
Andrew Flesher for the point after. It's good. Harvard takes a 31-24 lead. Still 55 seconds on the clock for Yale. clutch throw and catch. The senior Connor Hempel,
Let's go.
battered by injuries this season, to the junior Andrew Fisher.
It started with just excellent protection. Hempel lofts a beautiful ball, and Fisher had gotten about a step and a half on Harris there. Wasn't a perfect ball by Hempel, but good enough for the touchdown. And look at the Harvard student section behind them erupt. Man, that gives me chills. That's awesome.
Less than a minute remaining for this high-powered Yale offense to try to answer. Andrew Fisher has made such an impact in this game. Reverses, catches, 264 all-purpose yards for Fisher. 149 through the air, 79 on the ground, and 36 yards of kick returns.
If anything, though, I almost wonder if they scored too soon. I mean, you got to score as soon as you can, obviously. But Yale, with all 3 timeouts and 55 seconds, and you get a first down, the clock stops.
And look who's deep now for the Bulldogs for the first time. Tyler Varga. Varga will take it on one hop at the 14. To the 29. 52 to play. It's time now for the play of the day, brought to you by Duracell, and guess what this is going to be?
Yeah, I think we just saw it, right? Hempel, less than a minute left, lofts the ball. Fisher makes a nice adjustment to it, and the Crimson go back on top after 17 unanswered points from the Bulldogs.
Yale with all 3 timeouts remaining. 71 yards from the end zone. 52 seconds to play. An empty backfield. 5 wide receivers for Morgan Roberts. Steps up into the pocket over the middle. High, incomplete, intended for Deion Randall. Intended for Deion Randall.
There really is plenty of time for Yale right now. And you know you need to get a touchdown. You know you need 7. That throw was way off the mark by Roberts, who's had a terrific fourth quarter.
Roberts on second down, incomplete. Again over the middle, this time intended for Sebastian Little. 3rd and 10, 43 to play.
Harvard always plays a lot of zone coverage, but now they can afford to be even a little bit softer, a little more generous in their zone. Knowing that Yale needs to try to get chunks of yardage down the field. Harvard showing only a 3-man rush here, which lets them drop 8, likely 4 underneath and 4 deep. They call that a quarters coverage.
Complete to Varga, first down, out of bounds to stop the clock.
You almost wonder if they were too soft in their coverage there, Randy. I mean, you can't just give them 10 yards and out of bounds like that.
38 seconds to play, ball on the 40. Harvard trying to preserve an undefeated season. Yale trying for a share of the Ivy League championship. Here's Roberts. Complete. Clemens out of bounds. First down. Midfield.
Another clutch throw by Roberts from the right hash all the way a deep out to the left sideline. That's a tough throw. The ball hangs in the air for a while. And again, getting out of bounds. So even though the clock stops with a first down, they don't have to hurry up because Clemens got out of bounds.
Our clock shows 31. Game clock here at the stadium shows 33 seconds left. Ball on the 49. Flags on the play before the snap.
For the snap, ball start. 65, offense. 5 yards from the original line of scrimmage. First down.
Sophomore left tackle Khalid Cannon. called for that one.
I think it's important to note, Randy, that the middle of the field is wide open for Yale to try to attack with those 3 timeouts. This is not a situation where they have to get out of bounds.
Plenty of time and space, and Roberts is going to run with it back up to the original line of scrimmage, the 49 of Harvard. And it'll be a timeout. Yale will use one of those 3 timeouts with 25 to play. This game a little reminiscent of what happened 46 years ago in one of the premier episodes of this long-standing rivalry. That was in 1968 when Harvard was down impossibly.
Yale was undefeated, sporting a 17-game, 2-season win streak, while Harvard was trying to write the conclusion to a great season. At stake in this game, the Ivy title.
Harvard wound up scoring 16 points in the final 42 seconds of that game to get a 29-29 tie that prompted the Harvard newspaper, The Crimson, to come up with its extra edition in the famous headline, Harvard beats Yale 29-29.
Have you ever seen a tie with people that excited after a tie? I can tell you right now, if Yale scores a touchdown to tie it, it'll be very similar, except we'll have more football to play.
That was 1968. 25 seconds on the clock. Second down from the 48 of Harvard. 2 timeouts left for Morgan Roberts and the Bulldogs. That complete to Wallace and out of bounds. A huge catch to the 26.
They still have 2 timeouts. They're going to be able to take a couple shots in the end zone if they want. What a game.
Yale has scored on every possession so far in the 4th quarter, and they're on the move again. But their nemesis is not only the Harvard defense, but the clock. From the 26, Roberts in trouble, sacked. They'll have to use another timeout right here, and they do. Zach Hodges, who else? So the ball will be on the 32-yard line.
They always say that big-time players show up in big-time moments, and Hodges just bull rushes Cannon over and gets the sack. Only rushing 3. Cannon's got to set a little firmer there and down the middle or the outside number of Hodges because he had help to his inside from senior Will Chisholm. Hodges gets the 27th sack of his career, the all-time leader in Harvard history.
Zach Hodges, considered an NFL prospect, probably at linebacker in the mold of a Mike Catapano, Karan Reed.
3-4 outside linebacker. Several people think he's the top FCS prospect.
Coming up again, New Hampshire versus Maine. 15 seconds to play in this one. 1 timeout remaining for Yale. Down a touchdown. But a couple of big play guys in Grant Wallace and Dion Randall as receivers. Over the middle, picked off. Intended for Wallace. Intercepted by Scott Peters, the junior safety from Atlanta. And that preserves Harvard's undefeated season. The Crimson will go 10-0.
And of all people, for it to be Scotty Peters, who came to Harvard as a walk-on. He was admitted to school without any support from the football program and has become a starter and a good player. And the ball was thrown just a little behind Grant Wallace. Peters read it all the way. And Harvard's going to win for the 8th straight time.
The victory formation, we're done. Harvard 31, Yale 24. A huge game from Andrew Fisher, the wide receiver, catching the big touchdown pass from Connor Hempel to provide the margin of victory. As you said, 8 in a row for Harvard over Yale and 13 of the last 14 in this famous college football rivalry.
What a valiant, valiant comeback by the Yale Bulldogs to be down 24-7 and come all the way back to tie it. You got to appreciate their passion and their resilience, but ultimately they're going back to New Haven, the loser in the game again.
Yale will finish the season 8-2, although this is obviously one of the more heated rivalries in college football. When the final whistle blows, you see the camaraderie out on the field, the mutual respect that these two institutions have for each other, the players have for each other as they mingle on the field. The fans now run on the field as well. And somewhere down in there, with Tim Murphy, is Carolyn Mano.
Coach, congratulations. It seemed like there was a momentum swing on every single drive of this game. What's going through your mind?
Great college football game. One of the greatest games I've ever seen. So happy for our seniors. So proud of our players and coaches. Great day for Harvard football.
You put an undefeated season in the hands of Andrew Fisher, and then Scotty Peters sealed the deal for you guys. What went into the decision with that big play at the end?
Well, the big play at the end was we felt like we could get him on a beater. Fisher had making some great athletic plays all day, and then Scotty Peters and our defense came up with another huge stop.
You know, you see you guys beat Yale year in and year out. You might start to convince yourself that this Bulldog team might want it more than you. Why is that not the case with each group that you bring in?
Well, I guarantee you they all want it. It's not that. We've been very fortunate. We've had a great run. It's getting harder. It's not getting easier, but we'll take this one.
Why has Harvard been so good under your leadership?
We've had great kids, great coaches, great assistant coaches. It's all about people.
Congratulations, Rick.
Thank you.
Tim Murphy, the head coach of Harvard. His Crimson defeat Yale 31-24 in the game. Coming up next, CAA football, New Hampshire at Maine. And that's where we take you right now to our Paul Burmeister.